My name is Alex Harper. I'd just turned 18, convinced adulthood would bring escape and open doors. But instead, it thrust me into a role I never asked for, shielding those who couldn't shield themselves. The cake rested on the scarred wooden counter, its 18 candles still curling faint gray tendrils into the air, remnants of the wish I'd whispered moments earlier. Sarah, my mom, had poured her heart into making the evening flawless, her cheek hidden under layers of concealer that couldn't quite mask the purple shadow beneath. She always pushed harder on days like this, as if a flawless meal could erase the storm brewing just out of sight. I stared at those fading wisps, my mind drifting to how this milestone should have felt. Triumphant. With my acceptance to Riverside University in hand, an engineering scholarship secured, a dorm waiting, and a life free from shattered glass and stifled sobs echoing through paper-thin walls. But as I watched her trembling fingers slice into the cake, her gaze flicking toward the garage where Mike, my dad, nursed his 9th beer, I realized some dreams demanded sacrifice. The garage door crashed open like a thunderclap. We all went rigid. My sister Lily, barely 14, scrambled to stack plates, her fork clattering untouched. Ryan, my 16-year-old brother, eased his chair back inch by inch, eyes locked on the hallway escape. And Mom, God, Mom, clutched the cake knife like a talisman, her knuckles blanching against the worn handle. Dad lurched in, the sharp tang of alcohol cutting through the room like a blade. His shirt hung loose and rumpled, his face flushed and slick despite the crisp autumn chill. He scanned the cake, the strung-up streamers, the modest stack of wrapped gifts, and his mouth twisted into a sneer. "Wasting my cash on this garbage again, Sarah?" His words carried that razor edge, the kind that signaled we had seconds before the fuse burned out. "It's Alex's 18th, Mike," she murmured, lowering the knife with deliberate care, as if any sudden move might ignite him. I scraped it together from the grocery budget. Scraped? "You mean swiped from me?" He barked a laugh, hollow and venomous. I rose without thinking, my chair scraping harshly against the linoleum. My body moved on instinct, as if it had been coiled for this exact instant all these years. "She didn't swipe a thing, Dad. She put together a normal birthday, like families are supposed to." The kitchen fell deathly still, the wall clock's tick swallowed by the tension. Dad pivoted slowly, really seeing me for the first time, registering how I now towered over him, my frame hardened from 2 seasons on the varsity line. His eyes narrowed to slits. "What did you just say, kid?" A decade ago, at 8, that growl would have sent me bolting upstairs, burrowing under blankets to muffle the chaos. But I wasn't that child anymore. "I said she didn't take from you. She's my mom, and she made me a dinner. If that's an issue, deal with me." "Alex, no," Mom breathed, her voice laced with dread. Not for herself, but for what might come crashing down on me. Dad advanced, fists balling at his sides. "Think hitting 18 makes you tough? Think you can mouth off in my house?" "I think it means I'm through watching you bruise her," I replied, my tone even despite the adrenaline surging through my veins. "It means I can dial the cops and they'll hear me out. It means I can stand in court and recount every strike you've ever landed." His complexion deepened from crimson to a furious plum. "You entitled punk!" He lunged toward Mom, arm cocking back in that all-too-familiar arc. But this time, I was primed. "No more cowering, boy." I intercepted his wrist, halting the swing mid-air. The shock in his eyes, the predator sensing the shift to hunted, froze the moment. He yanked back, but I held steady, my hold unyielding yet measured. I refused to mirror his cruelty. "Release me!" he snarled, breath hot and sour. "No," I said flatly. "You're finished laying hands on her. On any of us. This stops now." He swung wild with his free fist, cracking against my jaw in a burst of white-hot pain. Stars danced in my vision, but I didn't yield. Football had toughened me for worse. Mike, enough! Mom shrieked, but the line had been crossed. He drove a knee toward my gut. I twisted, absorbing it on my hip like a drilled block. Then, channeling a fantasy buried for years, I shoved, not to injure, just to repel him from us all. He staggered back, slamming into the wall, wide-eyed disbelief etching his features. In 18 years, no one had ever shoved back. "You attacked me," he rasped, voice quivering with fury. "I'll have the cops on you." I fished out my phone, fingers steady amid the chaos. "Do it. I've got footage, Dad. Years of it. Lily forwarded clips every time you went after Mom, while I was at practice or shifts. Ryan's got audio stashed on his old device. We've documented it all." That was a stretch. We had some, not mountains. But he couldn't know. "You've got squat," he muttered, doubt creeping in. I let out a bitter chuckle. Mom's got ER logs from half a dozen hospitals. The neighbor, Mrs. Ellis, dialed 911 5 times. My history teacher filed a report when I showed up sophomore year with a shiner. "Want to roll the dice? You'll lose!" The cake mocked us from the counter, its sunny icing clashing with the shadowed kitchen. Lily and Ryan hovered in the doorway, shadows themselves. But this wasn't the usual nightmare. For once, resistance bloomed. Dad's expression flickered. Bewilderment, wrath, a flicker of terror. He'd lorded over us with fear so long, he floundered without it. "You're 18, he growled low. "An adult. Want to play hero? Pack your crap and get out." "Fine," I shot back. "And Mom's coming too." The hell she is. "Sarah, please." Mom edged forward, palms up like taming a beast. "Let's all breathe." "Breathe?" Dad spun on her, and I planted myself between them. "Your golden boy just laid hands on me, Sarah. He assaulted his own father." "You were about to strike her," I countered. "Like you have since I was 8. Like last Wednesday when you figured we were out cold." Like Christmas morning, her anniversary, every day meant for joy that you poisoned. Each accusation landed like a gut punch. He recoiled, unused to his sins, dragged into the light, ugly and undeniable. "You don't get it," he grumbled. "I get it perfectly." I thumbed through my phone's gallery, landing on the damning shots. December 12th, Mom's eye after. "You caught her chatting with Aunt Claire without your..." Nod. Swipe. January 5th, her. "Sighed after you shoved her down the steps." Swipe. January. Quisecond. Her wrist twisted raw over dinner being late by. Minutes. His color drained with each image. Mom inhaled sharply behind me, unaware I'd been archiving the horror, building a case for this very day. "How dare you?" he hissed. "How dare I? How dare you twist every celebration, every quiet meal into terror? How dare you force us to tiptoe in our own home? How dare you batter the woman who stuck by you through it all?" He charged then, full throttle fury fueled by booze. But rage clouded his aim. Sobriety sharpened mine. I dodged, his momentum hurling him into the table. Plates shattered in a cacophony that rang like a wake-up call. "Stop this!" Mom wailed, tears carving black streaks down her face. "He ignited this a decade ago, Mom," I said, eyes fixed on him as he clambered up. "I'm extinguishing it." Dad seized a chair, hoisting it like a club. This spiraled beyond my worst visions, but retreat wasn't an option. Not with Lily and Ryan witnessing, needing proof that monsters could fall. "Drop it, Dad," I said levelly. "The neighbors are dialing now. Mrs. Ellis has her nose to the glass. Want assault with a deadly weapon tacked on?" He wavered, chair aloft. Then distant wails pierced the air, sirens swelling closer. Dad let it crash down, panic etching his face. "You ratted me out!" "I did," Lily piped up from the shadows, phone trembling in her grip. "The instant you swung at Mom." My soft-spoken sister, who whispered around him, had summoned help. Pride swelled in my chest. "You sneaky brat," he snarled, advancing on her. I barred his way. One step, and I'll ensure you limp forever. The vow hung heavy. Sirens blared outside now, crimson and azure lights strobing through the curtains like a fever dream. Dad whirled, cornered animal seeking a gap, but escape evaporated. The doorbell chimed, knuckles rapping sharply. "Police, open up!" Mom started for it, but Dad clamped her arm. "Don't you dare!" he spat. "Release her," I commanded, "or I'll tell them you're detaining her. Kidnapping on top of everything." He recoiled as if scorched. Mom massaged the fresh mark, another trophy in her gallery of pain. I swung the door wide. 2 officers, a stern man and a keen-eyed woman, took in the scene. Mom's mascara-smeared cheeks, the debris-strewn floor, our postures of dread and defiance. The woman's hand darted to her radio. "Backup and DV specialist needed here," she murmured. "No abuse here," Dad blustered, voice cracking with desperation. Just a spat. The man eyed me. "Who called?" "My sister," I said, nodding to Lily. "After Dad tried to hit Mom again. Lies!" Dad roared. The woman turned to Mom. "Ma'am, are you injured?" Mom's gaze bounced, from Dad to me, to the kids clustered in fear. I braced for her usual denial, the familiar shield for the monster she knew. But her eyes snagged on the cake, its candles a silent testament. Resolve hardened her features. "Yes," she breathed. "He's been hurting me for years." Officer Reyes, her badge red, guided Mom aside while Officer Hale lingered with Dad and me. More cruisers pulled up, flooding the house with badges. Dad slumped, knee jittering, shooting daggers my way as he schemed a twist. Reyes returned. "Mr. Harper, you're coming with us." "Why?" "I'm the victim." "Your wife shows signs of chronic abuse. The kids corroborate witnessing it." "We've got cause." Sarah set them straight. Mom reappeared, steadied by an advocate, looking fragile yet unbreakable. I did, Mike. I detailed every blow, every covered-up ER trip, the ribs you cracked and left untreated for days. All of it. His pallor turned ghostly. "You traitor. After I slaved for this family, beating your wife isn't providing," Reyes cut in. "On your feet." "You're under arrest for domestic assault." "You can't?" But Hale's glare silenced him. "Walk easy or we make it hard." Dad rose, locking eyes with me. "This is on you. You shattered us." "No," I said, voice firm against rising tears. "You did, with every fist, every terror-filled night, every choice of hate over heart. We're salvaging the pieces." The cuffs snapped shut, a symphony of finality. As they hauled him out, he pleaded, "Sarah, I love you. You know that." She stepped close, and for a heartbeat I feared relapse. But her words rang clear. Love doesn't bruise bones or shatter spirits. It doesn't scar kids. You didn't love us. You controlled us. No longer. They vanished him into the night, leaving us amid the wreckage. Splintered china, lingering uniforms, the husk of our old life. But breath came easier, unburdened after a decade. The hours blurred, statements, injury snapshots, evidence sweeps. Lily shared her hidden videos. Ryan his muffled recordings. I unveiled my meticulous dossier of horrors. "You 3 orchestrated this?" Reyes asked, a mix of awe and sorrow. "Not orchestrated," I clarified. "Just armed ourselves for the day we could fight back. On your 18th? I nodded. As an adult, my word holds weight. I could safeguard them. She regarded me with quiet admiration. That's a heavy load for someone so young. "I'm not young anymore," I replied. Childhood had crumbled long before the cake. The advocate, a warm soul named Elena, lingered, outlining paths. Protective orders, survivor aid, safe havens. "Find shelter tonight. He'll likely bail soon." Fear flickered in Lily's eyes. "An emergency order could help," Elena said. "But better not to be here." I tallied my college stash. Meager, but hotel-worthy. "We'll manage." Mom's eyes welled. "Alex, this isn't your fight." "It is," I insisted. I'm 18. Adults guard their own. We gathered essentials that night. Papers, clothes, fragments of life crammed into bags. Eerie, yet freeing, shedding the cage we'd mistaken for home. As we loaded the car under streetlight glow, Mrs. Ellis emerged, her face etched with years of overheard turmoil. "Sarah," she said softly, "I'm so damn proud." Mom collapsed into her embrace, sobs racking her frame, while we kids shifted uneasily by the trunk. "I own a rental," Mrs. Ellis offered. "Cozy two-bed vacant. First month's on me. You deserve a fresh start." "I couldn't," Mom began. "You will," she pressed. "I wish I'd acted sooner." "Let me now." The place was modest, spotless, and above all, secure. No eggshell treads, no flinching at shadows, no scheduling life around rage. But liberty brought hurdles. Mom hadn't earned wages in ages. Dad had gripped the purse strings. We started from scraps. That first night, sprawled on bare floors with takeout pizza, I chose. I postponed Riverside. The vision I'd chased deferred once more. "No way," Mom protested. "You're heading to school. You need support. The kids need roots. We need cash, not yours. You're barely grown. Focus on lectures, friends, life." "But this is life," I countered. "And right now, I'm the one who can grind full time." She wept then, raw guilt pouring out for burdens she felt she'd imposed. I cradled her, this resilient woman who'd absorbed hell to spare us, blind to how we now repaid the debt. I landed warehouse work days later, grueling but reliable, with extra hours. I chased every slot, dragging home bone-tired yet empowered. Ryan snagged after-school gigs. Lily babysat locally. Mom dove into recovery, counseling, skill building, reclaiming her spark. The courts crawled. Dad bailed as foreseen, the order barring him close, yet his truck crept by occasionally. Harmless legally, chilling nonetheless. Police shrugged. No breach, no action. 3 weeks post-birthday, post-double shift, I spotted him lurking by my ride. "We gotta chat," he said. My thumb hovered over emergency dial. "You're too close. Restraining order." "I'm exactly 100 feet, he smirked, precise as a predator. "Just father to son." "You forfeited that title terrorizing us for a decade." His features contorted. "I screwed up, sure, but blood matters. Blood means zilch," I fired back. "Father's shield, not shatter." "I roofed you, fed you, and wielded it like a club," I cut in. "Every bite, every light bill laced with threats if we stepped wrong. Your mom's twisting you." She hasn't uttered a peep. "Doesn't need to. I saw it all, watched you dismantle her soul shard by shard." He inched nearer, towing the line. "Think you're the man now? Think you outdo me?" "I already do." They rest easy. Laughter echoes at meals. Lily hums tunes again. Ryan doesn't duck at a raised hand. Mom grinned yesterday, genuinely after eons. "Yeah, I'm outshining you." His knuckles whitened. I braced for a rush, half hoping it'd seal his fate. But he held, spitting. "She'll beg back. You all will crumble without me." "Watch us thrive," I said, sliding into the car. His silhouette shrinking in the mirror like a fading ghost. 6 months unfolded. Mom blossoming, voice steadying through sessions. Therapy mended us all, teaching the rhythm of peace. She landed receptionist work at a clinic. Modest pay, but ours. With my checks and the kids' earnings, we scraped by, furnishing our haven thrift by thrift. It was humble, wholly us. The trial loomed like gathering thunder. Prosecutor Miss Lee prepped us fiercely. "He's lawyered up strong," she cautioned. "They'll frame you as instigator, Alex. Son turning kin against dad." "Let 'em," I said. Proof's on our side. Proof's key, but stories sway juries. They'll peddle the loyal provider betrayed. "Steel yourself. She nailed it." Opening salvos cast Dad as pillar. Overtime hero, churchgoer. Family rock eroded by my rebellion. Mr. Harper. His attorney grilled me on the stand. Did you assault your father that evening? I halted him from striking Mom. I stated plainly. Not the query. Hands on him, yes or no? I grabbed his wrist mid-swing at her. So yes. And you shoved him? After he clocked me, yes. Admitting assault, then? Ms. Lee objected. Defense of another, Your Honor. The lawyer smoothed. Just facts. Judge permitted. The barrage persisted, dredging my teen defiance to paint me as usurper. Then Ms. Lee's turn. Alex, recall your first memory of your father hitting your mother. Eyes shut, it resurfaced. 8 years old, Wednesday, post-soccer practice. Mom prepped tacos but skipped the salsa. He slapped her. She crumpled against the fridge, blood dripping from her nose into the beans. Silence gripped the court. What did you do? Curled under the table. I was a kid. What else? And after? It normalized. Not daily, but predictable. The tense shoulders, the venomous drawl giving us minutes to vanish. Seek help? Told my coach in 5th grade, he reported. Investigators came. Mom clammed up from fear. Dad charmed them. Bruises hid better after. Evidence flooded in. My photos. Lily's clips of chokes and threats. Ryan's tapes of crashes and vows of murder. Dad's counsel cried foul, unauthorized recordings. But Miss Lee countered. Minor safeguarding in their domain. Your Honor, legitimate. Admitted, Mom's testimony gutted me. Reliving hidden atrocities. Assaults veiled from us to protect. He timed it for school hours, she whispered. Threatened the kids if I spoke. But they saw enough. No child deserves that vigilance, that dread. Why endure? Miss Lee probed. Mom met Dad's gaze squarely. He vowed death if I fled. No funds, no network. He'd cut me off. I thought absorbing it spared them. Wrong. It taught violence as love. Leaving showed otherwise. Lily and Ryan followed, voices quavering with truth. Packed go bags, mood-reading footsteps. The lawyer poked. But raw tears from a teen don't lie. Dad insisted on testifying. Ego overriding advice. Slaved 60 hours weekly for them, he croaked, feigning heartbreak that rang as whines. Gave all. This is payback. Did you strike her? His lawyer led. Lost temper a couple times. Who hasn't? They're inflating it. Miss Lee eviscerated. A couple? Refresh. 2020, fractured cheekbone. April, snapped ribs. July, popped shoulder. Shall I list more? She's accident prone, he mumbled. Prone to abuse patterns, Ms. Lee echoed. Docs flagged it repeatedly. They misunderstood us. Enlighten us. She cued audio, his roar. I'll end you. I scoffed mirthlessly. Amends for fractured bones, stolen childhoods. No, he's blood. Blood that poisoned. Father's nurture. He ravaged. She sighed deeply. Forgive, family does. Family doesn't batter. Here we stand. You'll rue this when he's gone. My sole regret, waiting 18 years to halt him. She drove off. Relief washed over me. Some ties demand severing. 2 years post that fateful night, I donned cap and gown for associate's commencement. Hard won amid toil and rebuilding. Mom beamed front row, tears joyful. Siblings whooped wildly at my name. Post-ceremony snaps, I glimpsed him across asphalt, diminished, aged by bars. He waved tentatively, seeking notice. I turned away, embracing my true kin, choosers of light over shadow, mending over mayhem, bonds by will, not lineage. That evening, over pasta at a cozy spot, Lily toasted with cola. To Alex, manhood forged not by date, but by declaring no more that night. To us all, I amended. For fleeing, testifying, rising. Team effort! Glasses chimed, a clan tempered in fire, emergent whole. 6 months on, Riverside accepted my transfer, scholarship intact. Dream delayed, not denied. Eve of departure. A letter. No sender but his scrawl. Curiosity trumped. I unfolded. Alex, I know contact's unwelcome. This is last. But you nailed it all. I was the beast wrecking treasures. Incarceration forced reflection. Therapy unearthed roots. No excuse. My old man battered me, his before. I vowed different, became same. You shattered that chain at 18. What I couldn't at 50. You defended, elevated. No forgiveness sought. Undeserved. But no, you rescued more than kin. You halted my descent, spared futures from my curse. I pursue real change, perhaps guide others to break cycles. You're the man I failed to be. Proud, though unearned. Dad. Emotions swirled. Not absolution, but perhaps finality. I shared with Mom. She scanned twice. Your call? Nothing. His chapter closes. You're a fine man, Alex Harper. Learned from the best, I embraced her. Your endurance screamed we mattered. Now 23, I craft safety tech at a firm. Fitting irony. Lily pursues law, vowing justice for the voiceless. Ryan balls for college scouts. Mom aids at a shelter, guiding escapes, content solo. We linger locally. Dad vanished states away, warehousing alone, therapy mandated, distance honored. I revisit that birthday, candles extinguished, wish for liberty granted unconventionally. Adulthood claimed not by calendar, but conviction, to confront, shield, sever chains. My name is Alex Harper. 5 years back, on turning 18, I counted not with fists, but facts. Not fury, but resolve. Not to ruin, but redeem. In liberating my family, I freed myself. Some slide into maturity gently. Others plunge headlong. Yet I discovered, strength lurks deep. Bravery blooms in terror. Often, the toughest path aligns with right. To those enduring shadows, tallying days to agency, endure. Your stand nears. Readiness strikes amid doubt. For courage acts through fear, seizing the strike to declare, enough. That pivot? True maturity's dawn. Reflecting. That birthday sealed an era while birthing renewal. Farewell to helplessness, victimhood. Hello to autonomy restoration, curse shattered. Without it, perhaps Mom perishes. Lily confuses pain for passion. Ryan equates might with harm. Instead, she claims value. He wields power protectively. Mom thrives independently, and I grasp reciprocity, safeguarding those who once guarded you. Family transcends blood, its presence in storms. 18 flames illuminated escape through abyss. My name is Alex Harper, 23. 5 years ago, maturity arrived via choice, to rise, voice, transform. That shifted all.